So we know from a research done concerning the Coral Canyon, where so many bands stem from, actually were created by people from the military, John Morrison and stuff, that at that time they were also the Tavistock Institute creating new words. So teenager was a new word at that time. What they wanted to do early on, even in the 1920s, was to have the women be liberated and then be working so that they could tax them. So there were these booths where you could drink alcohol even though forbidden, and the roaring 20s followed. But they didn't have the pill out there already, so they had to kind of postpone this development. So there you see, it wasn't a grassroots movement. And then there was the Marilyn Manson incident that ended the 60s revolution. They were creating Woodstock, so they had it all there, but then the Manson was to end this 60s revolution. Free sex for everyone, every day, change partners. So the elderly wouldn't understand that, but that was the new generation created by the elite so that they could split the family unit. And of course, when you have the media talking to the kids directly, you don't have the parents teaching the children what's decent. And also, they won't ask questions about life matters, like how shall I organize my life and what would you recommend. If the family is split, if they talk different languages, then of course they don't really talk to each other anymore. And a lot of things really are created by the elite. So there was Lily Allen being interviewed when the London Tower was burning, and she was even having wind going. Her hair was going with the wind, but she was standing in front of a green screen. And then Zuckerberg, when he was talking to the Senate, I think there too he was sitting in front of a green screen. And it was just to kind of have all these questions out there about your data being used by Facebook. We all know that it's used, didn't we? But now that it's in the media for hours and hours to watch, and they will have these fake productions in the future too, so that you will just get acquainted and used to these topics being the way they are. They don't want to change anything, they just want you to be listening to it over and over and over, over and over, and in the end you don't object anymore. So also Kosher, when he was talking at that hearing about that Thorn Foundation trafficking, he was talking about, that one was green screen, because sometimes the woman behind him would laugh at points where it just wasn't nice to do so. So yeah, you got these bad crisis actors in TV laughing when they're interviewed by CNN and stuff, so they don't show pain even when being in a hospital bed, and a few days later their leg was gone but they can walk already. That's just not possible. So also when they are laying and being transported away by the medical personnel, they're not bleeding, so the blood, somebody has to pour the blood over them. That one wasn't done properly, to make everything dirty. People don't really like doing so, so you often see people heavily injured but not bleeding. Or them bleeding the wrong way, like Sharon Stone was kind of bleeding upwards the way she was laying there. You can look at Masmati's PDF, you've got pictures on the internet, and it's always a different woman. Even Marilyn Monroe is a different woman in the morgue than, her house in the bed. Well, that's productions. Yeah. So, there's something else. When you have an ad, they often penetrate stuff. You go, oh, but when you have these Mark Zuckerberg hearings and you get unnerved because it's just so boring. Well, romantic love and hate are created in the frontal lobe, so they're very similar to what the brain looks like when in these two states. That's why they have the ads being so weird. You go, well, now you just told me to use this toothpaste, but I just won't because these people were so, unnerving. But actually, that's romantic love. When we have a crush, we tend to go back and forth from hating this person and then loving it again. We're just fantasizing and kind of drawn towards people that we like, but then also when they do something we don't like, we switch and we hate them for a millisecond, don't we? Especially as teenagers, so there you can see that there is a correlation. And that's why ads are so bad. You're half asleep in front of the TV, you get into alpha state, they call it. That's the state before you fall asleep. That's because you stare at something. Just study hypnosis. When you stare at something, you can fall asleep and be hypnotized easily. There are lots of hypnotic inductions, they call that. First steps into hypnosis that kind of are done with staring. Stare at your thumb, they say. And then they interrupt this staring and you kind of get into a lethargic state immediately. So, because we are half asleep, then in front of the television, it just says, buy me, go get it, just do it. They don't go explaining why, and they don't have any subtle details they tell us about the product. It's just like, you need to go and get it. Next time you're in the supermarket, you have forgotten that you fell asleep in front of the television and you just, tend to like the one toothpaste you heard so much about better than the others you've never heard about on television or anywhere. You kind of get to feel like they're family members by now, and it's not just people, politicians, why they happen in the news every day. It's also things. When something is around forever, you just don't hate it anymore. You cannot. That's why I said before, these group meetings are held. Nobody likes those meetings, nothing gets accomplished, but what actually gets accomplished is you don't really hate each other anymore. Not as much as you would as if those group meetings wouldn't exist. Now you kind of can work together better. You accomplish more at that company with these group meetings, and also at kindergartens, at schools, at foster homes, at places with difficult, people having to live together. That one works wonders. So that constant repetition of the politicians in the media makes us feel as if though they are family members and we kind of like them. At least we don't hate them, because we kind of think they're relevant. That's what this does. We sort of believe what they say because something that's relevant or someone tends to not be a liar. That one just doesn't go together in our brains, so we tend to believe these people or the products. And then also, if somebody has been a news presenter all through your life and you've seen that person so often, or a talk show presenter, it's the same. When they do a mistake somewhere, you don't go banning that program forever. You've kind of let them in. They were at your house in your TV on your cellular. So now they became family members.